Hey y'all, so before I get this video started, let me give a quick shout out. These were the first 3 comments in my last video. If you want to be featured in my next video, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell and come show me some love when I drop a new video. What's up, you guys? It's KeAmber Vaughn, aka CoachKe, coming back to you with another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and also tap the bell so that you are notified of every new video that I post. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, it's time for me to do my own September budget. If you guys missed the September mock budget, it'll be linked up in the eye in the sky at some point during the video. You guys know that with my particular budget, my budgets aren't as in-depth, mainly because I'm not in debt anymore. So it's literally whatever I don't spend on my fixed expenses or variable expenses goes to savings or a retirement account. So my September budget starts on September 9th. And it's going to end on October 6th. I get paid every other Wednesday, and I always like to start my budget within that particular calendar month. So because my October paycheck isn't until October 7th, that is why the budget will go all the way until October 6th. So I get paid this month on September 9th as well as September 23rd. You guys know I'm not really a huge sticker person, and I'm a minimalist. I don't have a whole lot of bills. So let's go over the bills really quick. I have car insurance for $129.66 with Geico. I have started paying rent as of last month. Yeah, last month, but I'm a month ahead. So basically what I'm going to do on every payday is just put $150 off to the side in a savings account. And then when the first comes, then I go ahead and I pay the $300. I live with my mother and my sister by choice. So that's the two 150s that you see there. This is just because I put all of my expenses on a credit card and I always pay the credit card off the day before the next payday. I also have a stock club here for $20. And then we have dental and health insurance here. And then we're going to pay the credit card off again before the new budget starts. And that's literally it. So a couple of things to note, and I've already written everything out so that once we go to the other part of the budget, I don't have to keep coming back. My apologies. Is I do have a Mexico trip this month, and it's going to be 4 days. And then there's one birthday that I have to take into account, and that is my aunt's. And I already know what I want to get her. I know what the price is and everything, so that definitely helps out. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in, and we are going to get started on this page. Okay, so this is a budget planner that I created myself. The link is down in the description box. I do have a printable version of this that you can print in color and everything. Somebody did just ask me, well, they didn't just ask me, I'm just getting through my emails. They asked me if I have a digital version of this, like something you could pull up on an iPad so that you can write it out. I had no idea people were interested in that, so I'll be looking into how to transfer this into a digital version. So just be on the lookout for that. You guys will probably have to wait until I'm on my 2-week quarantine, because then I know I'll have time. I've literally been working my butt off. Y'all know I usually only work 25 hours a week, and last week I worked 49 and a half, I think. So it's a mess. If you guys missed the video on how my income's going to be cut in half in October due to the quarantine, I'll link that up in the eye in the sky as well. So first thing I need to do is list out the fixed expenses that I have thus far. So the method of budgeting that I use is my own. It's called an income allocation method. It's a method that I came up with when I was still in debt. And it was because I did not like any other budgeting method. Honestly, it did not work for me. I'm somebody who has to save money while they are paying off debt. And so I figured out a way to do that safely. I got out of over $26,000 in debt in 18 months while saving $17,000 at the same time. So my method works, and it helps with the psychology of paying off debt. And that's why it's so much easier for people to really stick to, because for the most part, after you start to after you've earned enough money to cover your fixed expenses, everything else is kind of like sectioned off in percentages. But essentially, whatever you are sending off to your debt as an extra debt payment, you're typically saving the same exact amount. So that helps. When you're making a $300 debt payment, you're saving $300 at the same time. It's a lot easier to let go of that money because you know that you have all of this savings over there at the same time. So I've already written out all of the fixed expenses. There's not a lot. There never has been, honestly. Even when I was still in debt, there wasn't a whole lot. I'm a minimalist for the most part. Okay, so let's go ahead and add this up. And I forgot to let you guys know that I think that I decided after I have to quarantine for 14 days, I think what I'm going to start doing is not just working my 2 shifts a week. I think I'm going to add a 4-hour shift per week on top of that. And essentially it's because now that I'm paying rent and helping my mom out, that extra $300, I don't want that to have to come out of my budget, meaning that's an extra $300 that I'm used to having to save, you know, having that available to be able to save. So me working a 4-hour shift extra every week, that'll end up equating to about a shift in like 3.5 hours on top of that. So that way, basically that extra 4-hour shift every week is going to cover my rent. And then, you know, the rest of my money, I just have to do my usual with. So I'll let you guys know. So the fixed expenses is $624.42. And this app that I use is called The Calculator. Always get that question. Okay, so now let's do the budget. The first thing I have to do is my projected income. So I've been working all of these extra hours right now because essentially my October income is going to be cut in half because of me having to quarantine for 2 weeks in September. So what I've been doing is making up all of those 50 hours that I'm used to working in a two-week time frame. I've made almost all of them up. So when I get paid in September, my income is going to be drastically higher. Whatever's in excess of my usual $1166.38 is going to be sent off to the side so that in October, when I have my 2 paychecks that are basically cut in half, I'm going to pay myself back, if that makes sense. So for September, my paychecks are going to be higher than this, but this is all that I'm going to budget with because everything else in excess is going to be for October. So my income is $23.32.76. Oh, you know what? I'm lying. I'm like, that's not right. And I've had some people ask me, like, why do you say this is a low income? This is not. Yes, it is. You guys use income calculators online. What showed for Missouri is that if you earn less than $3,400 a month, then you're low income. So I earn less than that, I'm low income. And I work part-time, you guys. I don't know if you guys pay attention. I just work 25 hours a week. I'm just looking up my YouTube income really quick. So for August, saying $265.76, but you guys know I take 20% of that. So I'm going to subtract $53.15 for taxes. $265.76 minus $53.15. So my income is going to be $25.45.37. And I feel like this pen is going to go out pretty soon. Okay, so $25.45.37. That is going to go out. Is the income. I got another black one, thank goodness. So after I figure out the projected income, and I always say to underestimate your income, but I literally get the exact same paycheck every single paycheck. It went up by $1 recently. I don't know why, but I'm gonna keep going with $11.66. So now I have to subtract my fixed expenses because, like I said, I start to think about my budget in percentages. How much do I have for variable expenses? How much will I have for savings? And if I was still in debt, how much do I have in debt? But that's after I take care of my fixed expenses. Some people like to go by the four walls, all this stuff. I say pay your bills, but credit is important to me. So I can scrounge up $20 to find, for some food, but most people wouldn't say, oh, let me borrow $20 so I can pay my bill. No, they'll say, let me borrow $20 so I can get some food. So that's just how people are psychologically. So I'm going to subtract how much my fixed expenses are from my income, and that's going to give me a net income of $1920.95. So now, before I can figure out how much I have for variable expenses, I first have to come up with my numbers. So for groceries, I'm gonna go back to the August budget. I had $250, and I don't believe that I spent $250. So I'm gonna go ahead and do $250 again. Most of my numbers I like to keep the same from budget to budget, unless I end up having a magic month and I have a 6-week budget, then I extend it a little bit. Restaurants, it's gonna be $125. Gas, I had $70 for August, but I know I'm not going to work for 2 weeks, so I should only have to fill up. I'm just gonna go with twice, even though I don't think I'm gonna have to. So I'll just put $70. I don't think I'm gonna spend that. Shopping, I gave myself $200. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm super over budget on shopping, and it's another category I think for this week. I'll tell y'all about that in the budget results video. I think I'm going to give myself $200 again, because I'm still trying to flip my wardrobe, honestly. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself $200. For miscellaneous, I have the trip. You know what? I usually do $100, I think, and I know what I want to give my aunt for her birthday. I'm just going to still do $100. Because her gift is only going to cost $30. Supplements. I think I think I have to get both of them this month. And that's usually $100, but let me see. September 18th. So I have mine on like that auto ship or whatever. I'm trying to see how much. Okay, so $33.46 is one of them. And then the other is $69.08. This one is one that comes every 2 months. Okay, so $33.46 plus $69.08 is going to give me $102. So I'm just going to put $105 for some supplements, even though I know it's going to be a little bit higher. Actually, let's just do $103. So then I have business, and I usually just give myself $100. I am going to have to get another memory card because I just realized one of my memory cards snapped in half. And then travel. I'm going to give myself, we'll be there for 4 days, but we're staying on the resort. No excursions or anything. I don't really care about excursions. I'm just going to do, let's do $150. I don't really think I'll spend it, but whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and tally all of this up. $250, $125, $125, $70, $200. I think the month of August is going to be one of the first months where like I literally spend every single dollar of my variable expenses. It doesn't happen very often. I don't think that I've overspent in variable expenses probably in like 2 or 3 years. Okay, so my budgeted expenses, or what I need for my variable expenses, is $1,223. So I have to figure out what percentage of my net income needs to go towards that. So what I'm going to do is just divide that by the net income. And that's going to give me 63.66. If you're still in debt, I always tell you to round up to the nearest 10 because overspending is usually still happening, especially when you're trying to get adjusted to a new type of budget, as well as when you're in debt. When you're in debt and you're making all these debt payments, a lot of times we want to reward ourselves with spending. Not saying we should, but that's what typically happens. When you're not in debt anymore, I just say go up to the nearest 5. So I'm going to go up to 65%. But because I increased this from 63.6 up to 65, what I write in this box, which is the amount that I have for this particular part of my budget, is not going to be that 1223 because we've gone up by like a percentage and a half. So what I'm just going to do is take the net income, and I break this down a lot better in my step 9 of my financial wellness program. It's free. Check the description box. So basically, not 0.6 KeAmber, 0.6. Let's just do this all over. 1920, 95 times 0.65. So I'm like 1100. That's less than I need. So 1248.61 is what I got left over, and that's just maybe $25 more, just in case for overspending. So that means that 35% of this net income is going to go to savings. So if we do 1920 95 minus 1248.61 is 672. Now you guys see in the mock budgets, when I'm doing budgets of people who are still in debt, I always split whatever's left over in half here. That's another reason why you go up to the nearest 10%, because it's a lot easier to split in half. But I'm not in debt anymore, so that's why everything goes here. And I always like to write this in just as a reminder and a continued celebration of being debt free. I've been debt free for 2.5 years now. Okay, so I'm not going to actually fill out all of these jars for my savings and everything. You guys know that I always do that on a separate video, but I am going to write in that $53.15 extra is going to go to taxes. Okay. Now, last thing we need to do is do a paycheck to paycheck budget. And I like to do that because it's really cool when you can kind of oversee what's going to happen from paycheck to paycheck. And it kind of lets you know ahead of time, like I might be tighter on this budget versus the next one, if that makes sense. So how much I have to budget, and I use my actual numbers, not the estimation, like the increase that I gave myself, is 1223. The travel portion, however, how much did I give myself? 150. So I'm going to take the 150 out of here because I know exactly when that's coming out. Equals 1073. And I don't know what day they're going to charge me for those supplements, so I'm not going to separate that out. So with the 1073, I'm just going to divide that in half because I need my variable expenses to be paid for each paycheck, if that makes sense. So basically what I'm going to have is $536.50 per paycheck. Okay, so the first paycheck is September, 9th? And it's going to take me to, why did I write that I have a payday on the 14th? It's the 23rd. What am I thinking? It's going to take me to September 22nd. My income is going to be $1166.38. And okay, so my expenses, I only have car insurance this week, And then I have the budget and my travel part of the budget is going to come out here as well. So I just wanted to separate that 150 because I don't need 75 in each paycheck for my travel. I know I'm traveling in this paycheck. Now, let's say that my trip was going to be until the 24th or something, then I would split it, but I don't need to. Okay, so car insurance is $129.66. And I'm just going to write this out and then we'll subtract these from the income to see how much we have left over each paycheck. And then travel is $150. So I'm going to skip a couple of lines and then let's do September 23rd until October 6th. 1166.38. I am going to do my YouTube paycheck up here. I get paid that on the 21st. And that is going to be $265.76. And the only thing I take out of there is taxes. $53.15. Okay, so this paycheck, oh, you know what? I'm lying. Rent is going to come out as well. That's why I always skip a couple of lines just in case I forget something. So even though my rent is $300, like I told you guys, I save $150 per paycheck. Okay, so let's do the stock club. Dental insurance is going to come out. Health insurance is going to come out. And then the budget. I think I'm almost at the point where you guys can see. And then we have rent. Stock club is $20. Dental is $954. Health is $165.22. Then the budget is $536.50. Rent is $150. All right. So let's go ahead and start subtracting. Oh, that line is crooked. How you use a ruler and you're still crooked, girl? I ain't gonna draw it over though. Okay, 1166.38 minus 129.66 is gonna give me $522. The last thing I'm gonna do is kind of make a quick plan for what I'm gonna do with the savings amount. 222, 66.38. Oh, I didn't even do, let's see, 265.76 minus 53.15. $20, 1146.38. This paycheck should end up being having a little bit less left over because most of my bills is in this one. Oh, I actually have more. How? Oh, because that extra travel portion. If that extra travel portion wasn't put there, I would have more money left over in this one. Okay. So let's make a plan. So paycheck one, I have $200.22. Then let's do the YouTube paycheck. I have $212.61, and then paycheck two, we got $285.12. So what I have is $697.95 left over. And what I think I want to do, I still feel like I want to fund my retirement account. But I don't think that I want to do as much as I've been doing. Or do I? This is kind of the best time to load up on stocks, honestly. So I think I am going to do 300 here. Or let's do 250 or 200. What do I want to do? I'm gonna do 3 because I know my October income is gonna be a little bit more than normal, because with me working almost 50 hours this past week, 10 of those hours are gonna be overtime, paid at $45 an hour. So, or 9.25 of the hours. So that's gonna leave me with $397.95. So I'm gonna try to put $198.97. So this is gonna go to my TD Ameritrade account. This is gonna go to my miscellaneous / investment sinking fund. And then I want to put $99.49 in my travel sinking fund. And then $99.49 in my car sinking fund. And we'll leave it at that. So that is going to be my September budget. Stay tuned for the rest of the month to see how well I execute this plan for my money. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, of course, feel free to leave them down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.